Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Michaela Shields and I'm your videographer for BurlPres. Today I'm here with Graham to talk about the message for this week. We're kicking off a new series called Act, Love, Walk. It is inspired by Micah 6:8, which states, "Act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly." We know these are super important values, but we're going to really dive into how to apply them to our everyday lives. Graham, do you want to give us a little bit of an introduction about what you're going to talk about this week?
Yeah. Well, so this week we have Jared Wilkins, one of the finest young, happens to be African-American preachers in the country. He spoke at this little tiny church called Willow Creek. Thousands of people. He's just really talented, and so very excited about that. Just in terms of the concept, we're building a whole 3-part series on one verse. So we're hoping everybody memorizes it. It's very simple, but if you just memorize those 3 words, act, love, walk. So we're going to dive into this. We think it's going to be really fun and hopefully applicable. But what we really want people to do is ask themselves, what am I doing to help those who have needs, who are oppressed, who live in marginalized places? So that's our challenge.
I think that's awesome. I definitely agree. I think that they're all action words. You have to put the action behind what you're saying. I wanted to ask you, so a lot of people are reaching out on Facebook and other social media platforms with all of this, political unrest. They want to talk about justice.
Yeah.
But there are also a lot of people who might not share your values.
Yeah.
So when you are faced with something like that, how do you show a little mercy to the people, to your friends who are posting these things that you don't really necessarily share their political affiliations, but you don't want to click unfriend either? Right.
Well, it's a really good question. Unfortunately, justice, mercy, and humility have become political. Who would have ever thought? So people who tend to take up these issues tend to maybe be more progressive. But what I love about our church and what I love about where we're going is people of all political backgrounds, conservative, progressive, have engaged this stuff. So anytime we lift up a progressive thinker, we're also going to lift up a more conservative one. But I mean, having a conversation and continuing to have a conversation is the key. And just to kind of listen. Often also I found when people are disagreeing with you, they're one step closer to agreeing with you. In other words, apathy or just not listening at all is the highest form, as Gandhi would say, of kind of abuse. So whenever you have somebody who's like, bad idea, realize they're actually closer to where you are than you would think. Yeah. Be my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. And then also, I think that justice, the word justice, we think about, government, we think about politics. Those are the first things that we think about. But even more than that, I think it's important to have justice for oneself. I know that with everything going on, COVID makes it hard to do the things to take care of yourself. But like we talked about last week with the Snickers diet, people aren't exercising properly or they're, not having that social interaction, which I think is just so important. But at the end of the day, it's also important to remember that you are God's creation and you are a vessel of God and that you have to take care of yourself too. Do you agree with that?
Totally, yeah. I think of the word balance. I like the word balance better than justice, because when we think of justice, we tend to think about a person with scales or a person who works in the Supreme Court. But balance is what God came to the earth to help maintain, create. And I think that's what we are trying to do when we ask people to be more just. We're trying to help balance life for people around us and ourselves. So to your point, most of us are not caring for ourselves. We're way out of balance in our souls. And that's such a good point. Justice can begin with you.
Thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And thank you so much for watching. Remember, BurlPres is the church for all in the heart of the Bay Area. This is your call to action to act, love, walk. Please tune in for the message this week, and we'll see you then. Thank you so much.